Do you love a good IKEA hack? Let's make my daughter her first birthday present that she'll keep for the rest of her life. A little dollhouse. Guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to be transforming this little IKEA organizer into a dollhouse. Yes, you heard correctly. This could be a dollhouse. I can't wait to show you what I have planned, and it's going to be fairly easy. So here's the plan. This can be used for anything really, like organizing clips and pencil crayons, whatever it might be. I'm gonna add a roof, we're gonna add some windows, a door, and just make it super cute. I'm gonna try my best to use as much scrap wood as I can. I really don't want this to be an expensive project, but I want it to really be from the heart. Our daughter was actually surprised because I have conceived 2 boys through IVF, and we thought we were done having our family, and surprise. I kid you not, I thought I actually got food poisoning because we went to my friend's house for dinner the night before, and then all of a sudden I just started getting really nauseous, and I messaged her and I asked her if anyone else had gotten sick from her party. And that's when I found out I was pregnant. So let's start off by making the roof for the dollhouse. I'm marking how steep I want the angles to be. I cut this to a 45-degree miter and I realized it was just too steep. So I'm just marking what I think it might be. And now I'm gonna take it to my miter saw and line up the angle. And I'm gonna use around a 30-degree angle for the roof. I think dollhouses are so special. I always wanted a wooden dollhouse when I was a kid. Actually, I would have been happy with any dollhouse. I really love Barbies. But my parents just, they were really economical. They were immigrants on a very tight budget, so we just couldn't afford it. So here I am making something for my daughter that I just couldn't have. Now that I'm done cutting the piece down to size, I'm using wood glue to attach it to the top of the organizer. Just use a good amount of wood glue and then just stick it firmly on top. To make sure that these pieces really stick down, I'm going to add a plank of wood across and then something heavy on top. So I just grabbed a can of paint. Wood glue is really strong, so let's give it some time to do its magic and adhere. To make the actual roof, I'm going to use scrap shiplap. I've got a ton of shiplap left over from when I shiplap my ceiling. I cut the sides down to that same 30-degree angle just to make sure that it's going to be consistent. Take a strip of wood glue and apply it to the shiplap. And to make sure these panels won't stick off, I'm just using my brad nailer and adding a couple of nails to make sure it's super secure. I also have to cut some side panels. Now, there's a little bit of a trick with the side panels. You want to cut them to the size of the side, so I just measured it. But look at the top angle. Do you see that top angle there? How it's actually not flush with the boards. If I put the top of the roof on, it's not going to sit flat. I need to go ahead and bevel it. I just kind of marked it with a pencil, and then you can see I'm lining up my angle and my miter saw to that same line. I adjusted the angle to 7 degrees and it was a perfect fit. So now as I attach my sides, you'll see that I'm going to get that perfect finish when I add the roof on. I use my pin nailer to attach it. Now the reason I use a pin nailer is because the nails are much smaller than a brad nailer. So I'm nailing into the side of a shiplap, which is like a 1/4 inch. So I think it'd be really hard to get the brad nail in straight and make sure it doesn't come out the front. So a pin nailer is just a really small nail and it just is not as strong as a brad nailer, but it still gives you good durability when you combine it with wood glue. So the pieces for the dollhouse are really small, right? They're like tiny. So what I did was I actually just used my pin nailer and nailed it onto this long piece because I can't let my hand get too close to the blade. So let me show you how that looks. If I wanted to cut just this tiny piece, right? You see how close I'll have to fingers to actually cut it. Like that's just, the blade is way too close. So by attaching it to this, now I can hold it from back here and it's like way, way safer. I'm always gonna be upfront with you because we're learning together. I made a really big mistake here, so just watch as I thought that I could just nail this to a long piece of wood. Definitely not. Do not do this. This is why it is so important to always wear your safety gear. Imagine if I had flown off and hit me in the face. Fortunately it didn't, but that was really scary. So me and Sabrina are at our local library. They actually have these amazing like laser cutters and vinyl cutters and like all types of machines. So I'm gonna get all the small pieces cut at the library here. I really love the library. I grew up going to the library and and it's so cool that they have this available. Make sure you check your local library because there's a lot of facilities that you just might not know about. So this is so cool how the laser cutter works. I designed everything in PowerPoint, and then the associate there helped me convert it into the right file type. I have these files available on my website if you actually want to make this project, so go ahead and download that. Isn't this so cool? I've got doors, windows, shingles, windows with shutters. So I'm going to paint these all, and then I'm going to attach them to my house. And just seeing this rough layout come together makes me so excited. I think the roof is definitely going to be my favorite feature. I primed the entire dollhouse, and then after that I applied 2 coats of white paint for the dollhouse, and then for the roof I used Urban Bronze by Sherwin-Williams. This is like my ultimate favorite moody black color. Now, one thing I wish I had done was I wish I had just lightly sanded the organizer with like a P220 grit sandpaper, because it did have a little bit of like fibers that were coming up as I was painting it, but honestly it was too late. I also painted all the little pieces, and they're so cute. I polled my Instagram audience to ask what color I should do the shutters, and they all said it should be pink. At first I was going to do this color, but then I went with like a really bright hot pink, which was much more girly and just so much more fun. One of the challenges I had was making sure that all the paneling for the roof would be the right length, because when I designed my file, I just designed them all to the same length. So I'm going to show you how I actually cut them to the right size. I basically laid them all out onto my roof, and then I marked them. And then I used these floral wire cutters. I think this is the best way to do it. I tried to use, like a different wire cutter, and I tried to use my jigsaw, and it just wasn't the best way because the wood kept splitting. And so I think this is probably going to be as good as it gets. So I think that's actually not bad, pretty good. Just sand it smooth. So I'm sure there's like some better way to do this, but I think this is working. I'm like, look at all the power tools that I have, and I'm using floral wire cutters. Like, that's cool, it's fine. But if you have a better idea, like drop it into the comments, because I wrote a blog post and I want to update it with like better ways to do things. To attach all the dollhouse pieces, I used wood glue, but the roof, because the pieces are kind of angled, I had to go in and use my pin nailer. Well, I was walking around my house because I actually really want a planter for the flowers, and my kids have like all these random toys. So I found this. I have no idea what it is, but I figured that this would be such a cute like flower box. And then the flowers that I put on by the door, I'm actually gonna stack like 2 corks. These are for test tubes. What are they called? Corks? I don't even know what they're called. I'm just gonna stack these, and I'll put the flowers on top, and it'll look like the flower pot. Okay, look how cute this is. Okay, so I'm just gonna like add dollops of hot glue on the bottom here. All these. My kids really want me to color, so I'm just gonna finish this up and then go color with them. This is it. This is the moment. Look at that little garden box. It is so cute. And if you're ready to see it, here is the final reveal of my MOPPE IKEA Hack dollhouse. I love this little dollhouse. It is so cute. I think it's the perfect little accessory for my daughter. She can store all of her clips, her bows, and as she gets older, she can store her pencil case, really anything she wants. And I just really hope that she keeps it for a very, very long time. I've heard of stories where people hand down these wooden dollhouses through, from their grandparents to their parents and to their kids. And I think it's just such a special gift and so memorable, because you think of, how special it is that someone made that for you. And if Sabrina wants to make it her own when she's older, change up the colors, add things to it, I think that would be so cute. I have the printable file available for you on my website. So if this is a project that you love and you want to replicate for your daughter or for even yourself, go on over to my website and grab the file. I'll link it below. This is a great budget project. It cost $40 for the organizer, and my library cut all these little pieces for $20. So just $60 to make this. If you love this project, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time for my next budget DIY.